the interest and the connection and the like and the rest of this?
The great question is go right into my next slide. You're right there. All right, we're gonna, after this slide, but it's gonna be with keyword research here. But here's what I want you to know. These are the 3 core elements when you're trying to do social media to put on a campaign, when you're really trying to use this particular platform for business. Optimization, integration, and then monetization. You have to optimize first, and that's what we're going to talk about first, is drilling down. We have to optimize before we can even begin this process. Once we've optimized our sites, meaning our social media sites, for who we're looking for, then we do an integration of all the sites. And then we set up our monetization of it. And that's, so the first thing, in that same breath, the first thing that you have to do, even before you optimize, before you even start doing your research, you have to decide what your goal is. And a lot of people I've noticed really don't have a goal when they come into the social networks. Would everyone agree in here that you heard someone somewhere say, you should be on Facebook now? Did you ever hear that before? And what did you do? You said, well, I guess I should be there. Someone said, well, you should be on Twitter. And you said, okay, I guess I should be there. You should be on YouTube. And you said, okay, I guess I should be there. But the question was, you got invited to a party and you didn't even know why you were at the party. You got invited to something and you don't even know why. You didn't go into it with a goal, like what's supposed to happen if I join. And what I found when you work with mid-sized to large businesses, they are very clear about, they don't just join to join. Their first answer is like, what is supposed to happen here? We're not putting one nickel down on this operation. We're not spending any money with you, Johnny, until we figure out what is supposed to happen. So this is the questions that we go to all the time with them. Before we even start to target, I said that my first question to them is that, how are we going to approach this? What are we trying to do first? What's your goal? And inside of there's a qualitative approach and a quantitative approach. So it's like, what is your goal first? Now, qualitative is like, people are talking about brands. Oh, we want more branding, we want more awareness, we want more conversation and engagement. And that's what they're using to measure. That's the things that they're looking for. When it's quantitative, that's where the money is. Someone is saying, I want to know dollars and cents, how much we're going to make from this. And I started to realize over time, I said that people don't even have a goal when they begin this. They don't know why they're there. They just know they should be there. And they haven't really looked at their business and said, what is my goal for my business in the social space? So you have to start with that goal at first. And once you've got your goal, which ours is, quantitative, we want the money. Here's where we started at. When you are marketing in a social space here, there's 2 ways to do it. You start off with, and this is the whole thing here, is that understanding clients' problems and issues based on keywords. You've got to do your keyword research. Now, what do I mean by keyword research? I simply mean this, like in websites have keywords on them, but you're really not looking for 2 words, you're looking for phrases. Phrases that human beings would state. See, one of the things is this, when someone goes onto Google, they don't go into Google and type in headache. They type in, I have a headache. They type a phrase in, because that's the problem that they're dealing with. So when you're doing your keyword research, you got to think about phrases that human beings would say. And that's how you start to target. You think about what is their actual problems that they're dealing with. What problems are they going through? But it's based on phrases, not just 2 words or 1 word. You're looking for those phrases. And those phrases make a big difference when you're optimizing your own website right now. Because I'll go to Google and I'll look at people's websites and I'll look at their keywords, and the keywords are terrible. They're not driving traffic. They're not attracting the people that they want, because they're doing some of the things that I don't understand why. Like they put in there, and they're a small company, they put their name as one of their primary keywords. And I'm like, no one's looking for you yet. They don't even know who you are. They're looking for their problem first. Your name should be a keyword, but it should not be the only keywords that are in there at the top of the website. You should have phrases that reflect your target customer's situation, problem that they're dealing with. And if you're in here, some people in here might be not solving problems, but offering them their desires and their fantasies. It could be vacations, it could be awards, it could be money or something. But you've got to put keywords that reflect their issues that they're there for. You can put of course your words in there, meaning your company's name, but there should be more of the problems that they deal with as your keywords. Now in Facebook is built on keywords, but instead of keywords, we're using the words their interests or their hobbies. People have interests, people have hobbies. So if you're doing some marketing inside of Facebook, you have to think about what are people interested in, or what do they have hobbies on. Now up here, I know you guys don't, this big man up here you see, but little do you know, I'll tell you a little secret here. I am the official Chihuahua whisperer, just so you know. I have a special power to understand the moods and temperaments of Chihuahuas. Now I didn't ask for this talent, it was thrust upon me. Where I live at, I have a neighbor who has a Chihuahua. And this dog, and they didn't want to put it in daycare because it was so little they had to go to work. I work from home. So one day, being a good neighbor, I volunteer to watch this pocket dog, pretty much. And I end up watching this dog and growing close to this dog here. And so you can only imagine me walking a dog that probably weighs 2 pounds on a leash with a coat on, and there I am walking down the street with this. And I thought about it and I said, that's pretty sad, you know that? And so when other big dogs come along, I normally just pick her up and put her in my pocket. And I just hold her there while other dogs walk by. But then I thought about it for a moment and I said, well, I didn't really like Chihuahuas, but now I really do like them now. I think they're a pretty cool dog to have now because I've been around this one. So all of a sudden I started to think about interest. And I went into Facebook and lo and behold, there was a whole community of people who love Chihuahuas. And they buy stuff for their dog. From clothes to belts to hats to all of this stuff they buy. And I started to realize that when you're in the Facebook world, you're looking for interests of people, things that people are really interested in. I never thought I was interested in that particular breed of dog, but I guarantee you, if you have a dog and you go into Facebook and you put your dog's breed in there, you will find people who are interested in that breed of dog. They just are. And those individuals are the ones who have the highest probability of buying what you have, if you were selling something that was to support that dog. And so that's the way you have to start thinking about the Facebook world. What are people interested in and what are their hobbies? They're not in there putting in their profiles that they are nags and that they are upset all the time. They're not going to put that in there. But they will put in there their hobbies, the things they're really interested in. The problems they have, the anger they have, they normally use Google for that. I hate my boss, and then they hit enter to see what happens. And then a guy like me comes up and says, hello, do you hate your boss? For only $9.99, I've got a CD that will help you deal with your boss. And because that's where they go when they have something that really upsets them, they go to Google. But when they're talking about their passions and things that make them happy, you'll find them in Facebook. Two different worlds, but yet keywords is what's driving this whole thing. Keywords are affecting everything. We just changed the name from keywords to interests inside of Facebook. So when you start your campaign, when you begin this process, you got to be thinking that way. What am I trying to solve? What am I trying to do here? Here's my optimization process. It's not very complex because it doesn't need to be complex. It just needs to be effective and work. First thing is on there is the goal. What are you really trying to accomplish with your social media efforts? What's your objective? What are you really trying to accomplish? Number two is the who. Who are you really trying to serve with your information? Like, who are you looking for? Who are you looking to target? What problem do they have? What issues, what concerns are they dealing with? You want to go there. Thinking about, of course, the problem. And then here's the other thing that's so interesting. The fourth thing you should do, which most people did as the first thing, was they went and they joined the networks. And that was their first mistake right there. They ran off and joined all of the networks. But the issue is that's the fourth thing that you should do. When you know what your goal is, when you know who you're targeting and the problem, now you create a customized social network platform. Your blog, your Twitter, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, all these things are now customized because now all of a sudden you know who you're talking to. And you know when you're not talking to the right person.